Thousands are trying to enter the country after the holidays and a strict new lockdown in Zimbabwe. We cross live now to our reporter Pelane Phakgadi, who is monitoring the Beitbridge border in Limpopo. Very good afternoon to you, Pelane. Now, you have been at what really one could call the hotspots of border posts there at the Beitbridge border. How are activities unfolding? Is there a greater sense of calm now? Is there more order?
More order and a sense of calm as opposed to yesterday and the day before that. And we have seen since morning that there has been more movement. People are testing for COVID. There has, I think, as opposed to yesterday where we saw 2 officials, there are about 3 testing stations operating today to try and quicken the process and ensure that people test for their COVID, and then with their negative results, then they are then allowed to move into South Africa. And those who are found to be positive, unfortunately, they are given the results and then sent back into the neighboring border post, which is in Zimbabwe, in the Beitbridge side area. Part of concern that we've noted over the time is that we understand that just yesterday there were about 50 positive cases that were detected in those crowds that you've seen in the morning where scores of people were converged together, no social distancing whatsoever, and the scorching heat at the time making it not really so much possible but difficult for people to be wearing their masks full time. So that in itself raised concern if that wouldn't enable a super spreader kind of an area in here all around. And we have been just granted permission to come into the border post, Tammy. That's why you've seen us a little bit moving in a circle. Yesterday, I'll just ask Tuan to show you. Yesterday, the scenes which were here were quite chaotic, to be exact. You see now vehicles are coming in. People were pushed back into Zimbabwe, and some of the reasons why the place was congested in itself, it so seems that people left their vehicles on the Zimbabwean border post and decided to walk through. And now that has not been the case in this particular day. Vehicles are more like it. They are though more on the queues, people seated in their vehicles, and then that gives them an indication that the queues, the human queues that you've seen here are no longer as much as they were over the last few days, Tammy. So just a minimal queue there. The vehicles that you see, that you've seen just now, this is who is remaining now of them. And once they are cleared, others from the vehicles will then be allowed to step into the area. You can see social distancing adhered to very well today. There's an X there, 1 meter apart. There's another person there, as you can see there. And in their hand, I would like to assume that they have the COVID results from the other part of the border that is in Zimbabwe. Maybe just a little while there, if I can just get one to indicate. Hi, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine,
Good.
sir.
My name is Pelane. Yourself?
My name is Nyasha Murinda.
Yeah, Nyasha, in your hand here, what do we have?
Here I have my COVID certificate.
And
this one is my passport with the permit inside.
Yeah. So this particular COVID certificate, I've seen a lot of people being turned away because they've expired. Has yours expired?
It's expiring tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
So according to this, you should be given a clear indication that you'll be stamped and then you'll be clear to go into South Africa.
I think so, because it's still valid, this thing.
Yeah. And then how long have you been queuing?
I came here 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my 3rd day.
It's your 3rd day?
Yes.
And how has the experience been like? Has it been like any other year, or is it because of the lockdown that is being instituted in Zimbabwe?
Actually, the experience was not good.
Yeah.
It was really tough for us. You know, we could spend these 3 days stuck on the queue, not even having any indication that we might get through. But thank God, eventually we are here.
Definitely, and thank you very much, and wishing you all the best in your journey going forward. Tammy, the people queuing are still the same situation as to yesterday, up to 3 days. That is the standard if you are going to come into South Africa from the Beitbridge Border Post 3 days you'll be queuing before you come here. And this time around, there's more order, there's coordination from the other side. You only come through in the vehicle that you are driving in, and you stay in that vehicle until you have approached this particular borderline. And when you are about to be processed, that's only when you come and present your documents here. Tammy?
So by the look of things, Pelane, it looks like that 3-day wait, which has been the norm and the standard over the past 3 days, that has come to an end. So commuters who are planning on traveling and crossing the borders, from your observation, is this a good time to travel? Are they likely to make it through the border on their first attempt?
Not at all. Tommy, remember the people that have queued up here for 3 days. It is not that you don't see people in the South African side of the border, is that there's nobody. There's still thousands of people packed in the Beitbridge Border Post in the Zimbabwean area, and that is the challenge. And we do understand that is the reason why you see people packed up to all the way to 3 days without food, without water or anything else. So definitely not a good time to be traveling. That's the first point. And the second point is that people are generally not allowed to be traveling into South Africa. My understanding is that the ones that are being processed currently are people who came to the border on Monday, on the 4th, before midnight, when the lockdown in Zimbabwe was instituted, and that bars any kind of travel into South Africa and back into Zimbabwe unless it is essential. So the people that are being processed currently are the ones that have been at the border mostly from Monday, and that's what they tell us, that thousands of people are still packed up in the Beitbridge Border Post. That is taking time, and the queue of the vehicles that they are traveling in is also adding up on the time. And when your COVID-19 certificate has expired and is over 48 hours old, that's when you have to be retested. Here there are COVID stations where you get tested. The tests are in a rapid manner, so you'll get the results quite quickly, about 15 minutes to 2 hours at most. So that is an indication that also grows the number of hours or days that a person has to stand on the queue in order to get their documentations processed into South Africa.
I guess that's one saving grace, the fact that when your COVID-19 certificate does expire, that you actually can be tested there and you don't necessarily have to go back to the country that you come from to be retested. But talk to us now, perhaps, about the contingency plans that have been made and any sort of sanitization that has taken place right there at the border, considering the fact that there were a number of COVID-19 cases that were detected yesterday, a number of about 50.
I wouldn't really be able to confirm or deny if there has been any kind of a sanitization of the area, because we often get kicked out of the border. Right now, even when we are coming in, we've just been given permission to shoot from 3 o'clock, and I would assume that as time goes on, we'll be asked to vacate once more so that operations can continue, as this is a national key point. But what we do know is that 170 Rand will get you a COVID test here at the Beitbridge Border Post, and the people who are coming in, unfortunately, before you can even cross the border, that is a requirement that if there is your certificate has expired, you then have to retest. There are officials here, health officials. There are also community health officials who are assisting the health officials here to ensure that there is rapid testing happening all around. So as an indication, I think maybe in our next crossing we'll be able to give you an indication between on the Beitbridge border in itself on how the Zimbabwe side and the South African side are coordinating the long vehicle queues that have to be processed into South Africa, and the people have been queuing mostly since Monday, the earliest.
Thank you very much, Pelane. That's Pelane Phakgadi, who's stationed at the Beitbridge Border Post. They're keeping us updated as to the developments there. In our next crossing, he'll be going further into the situation.